Let's make a color block t-shirt dress using these 4 t-shirts. Figure out which t-shirt you want as the top part. And I cut mine just above the waist, so I'm marking those out right now and cutting that. So put that aside, we won't be working with this, but get the rest of the t-shirts and cut just under the arm. We're doing this to maximize the amount of fabric that we are using. And then once that's done, you can go ahead and get that piece and cut that piece in half as well. Once you have the 2 pieces, a top and a bottom part, you're going to cut the side so you have one piece of fabric instead of one continuous loop. And then once that's done, we will be joining our 2 pieces of fabric together and sewing those down. Now, if you have a serger, I highly suggest that you use that. But if you do not, for clean finishes, we are going to be doing what is called a French seam. So you want to join wrong sides of the fabric together, sew that down, turn it inside out, and close that seam. So sew on top so that you can have a nice clean finish. That is if you don't have a serger. If you have a serger, go ahead and use a serger so that you can have your nice clean finishes. But this is what I'm just doing. So wrong sides together, sew those down, turn it inside out, and then sew a seam again. And that's the finish that you will get. Next, we will be joining the 3 other colors together. Again, if you have a serger, go ahead and use your serger to join those together. But if you do not, we are going to use the French seam method. And so take the wrong sides together, attach those together, pin those down, and you're going to sew that down. Once that is sewn, you will turn it inside out or turn it the other way and then sew closed that raw seam so that you have a nice clean finish. But again, if you have a serger, go ahead and serge your finishes closed. So I'm just showing the French seam here. So I sewed the first part, turned it inside out, and now this is what it looks like, nice and clean. Serger, if you have a serger, go ahead and do that. All right, so once that's done, this is what we have, our 3 pieces. The next part is we are going to do a gathering stitch. So set your sewing machine on the widest stitch, which is a 4 or a 5. Sew that down, and then once that's done, go ahead and gather the fabric as much as you can. I usually just do 1 stitch, but some people prefer 2 stitches. Next, we will join the bottom of the skirt or the dress to the top of the dress. With this one, I would go ahead and just do the right sides touching and then try and join and just shift around the gathers as much as you can so that it's evened out and you can pin those and then sew those down. So that is what I'm doing, just sewing that down, finishing that off. And once you are done connecting the top and the bottom, you can go ahead and hem the bottom, and this is what your dress should look like. It is super roomy, so if you want a fitted look, you could definitely use a belt like I'm doing here, or you could use a smaller t-shirt. So the t-shirt that I used was a large. I could have done a medium for a more fitted look, but that is the tutorial. Let me know in the comments what colors you will be making this dress in.